a second. Let me get this. There we go. Now it'll stay a little bit more still. I click start streaming and things are green and I see time, like it says live, but then I don't click on go live. Oh well. I'll get better at this skill with repetition. I haven't failed to go live often enough in a row because I haven't been doing these often enough in a row in general to fail that often that I get annoyed enough that I change the behavior. So, oh well. Not your responsibility, Dustin, but I appreciate the concern and that feeling of chagrin. But what I was saying is, something like this, let me see if I think I have sound. Oh yeah, I know I have sound, because sound's crackling right now in the speaker. Maybe it doesn't have to. I hear it in the speaker. I hear it in the speaker. Ah, it's EM interference. That'll happen. Oh well. So yeah, let me just find like an instrument to play. What about, I don't know what 5-year mission is. Sure. That's kind of cool. If you're gonna do like a trap beat, you'd be like, yeah, something like that. And we'd like set the tempo to something around 140, you know? Doesn't have to be 140. We could give ourselves a little break. We could do like 132 if we didn't want to rap quite so fast. Something like that. And then, you know, turn on a metronome. And then try to play it right. Then we can change our quantized snap from 1/16 to 1/8 because we're playing in double time basically. And then we can quantize this so it lines up perfectly. Let me turn this down a little bit. Sounds a little ghostly and spooky for Halloween too. Not the worst thing in the world. I'm glad I caught this on TikTok Live. I really thought I'd have that guitar stuff preserved for streaming. I forgot to hit record locally on the computer tonight too. I was a little rushed when I got started tonight. I'm gonna start like having a checklist or like a I'll probably give myself a fucking visual schedule, honestly. So that's like a melody. And we can thin that out. We could put filters on it. I'm gonna show her how low pass, high pass filters work. That's gonna be fun as hell. Very excited. Mutant bass. What is mutant bass? What does it sound like? What's that sound like? Double click it. That could work. Hang on. Maybe. Yeah, let's see. Something like that. Maybe we'll try another take. Just now that I have it on my fingers a little bit better. Hang on. That's better. Oops. I forgot to undo a couple times. Let's undo a couple times. There we go. Quantize it. Now we can go bass shopping. This is an actual Rickenbacker bass performance. It feels really organic and authentic, but it's not like the trap sound, right? So we talk about like, and maybe at this point, maybe at this point is where we'd go, oh, hang on, let's get really real. Let's go in here to the sound, and instead of having it say this bass, we go to internal, we go to bass synth. And we just see what the default bass synth sounds like. And it's like nothing, right? Like, you can't even hear it because it's so low. So then I'd be like, well, look, you see how this like bass note here is right next to the 1? That means that it's on C1 because the number is always on C. So if we go up 2, that means we're on C2. We can probably hear it a little better. And then we can mute this sound for now. We can just isolate the bass. So, what do we want here? There's this advanced tab that has glide, and like that means that like the bass is gonna wanna like glide or not. I think that means it's kind of cool, right? The glide makes it feel a little bit more lively. Then we could play with like shape of the oscillator. So if we go from 66 to 34, how does that change the bass? So it like brings it way forward. Interesting. Something else to watch for is like, does the group itself have any effects on it? But it does not. So we're just messing with the pure bass synth. Cutoff, right? 63.9 hertz. If we bring the cutoff up to like 376 and keep the shape down here, what does that do? We're like in sub bass territory. If I turn up the drive, I can change the glide time, shorten it. Mess with the resonance. I can mess with the octave. Keep shaping. The envelope is really important. We haven't even touched it. The mod amount and the decay, right? So I'm going to bring this back to like the 20s to 30s, where it feels like there's a really good tone. And if you're watching online now, you can actually hear it, right? Hey Francis, I was reading stories earlier, and I'm gonna be reposting from the TikTok live for the Patreon. I will be putting this up. The TikTok live will live on Patreon. I'm gonna download it once I'm done with this, and then I'll upload it. And yeah, I did the thing again where I didn't hit go live. But I had a green square. I did get my router moved in. So we're putting the pieces together. It's happening. And I will get a checklist going. Let's see what the mod amount does on this envelope. Ooh. That sounds a lot more like trap bass to me. Nice. Now this decay makes things last a little longer. So what I hope to do is like sit with my kid and like walk through what these dials do one at a time, and then give her time to like design her own sounds, right? If we bring in the melody again. There's a lot going on with this sound, so I can hit the little arrow if I want to see exactly where it's coming from. This is from the Korg Gadget pack of VSTs. And I've got this tube drive I could bring down. That'll kind of move it back a little bit. What else I'm looking for is like, is there a filter I can mess with? I've got attack decay. And there might not be a filter like right in the UI here, and you can't even see the UI on the internet because it's a window over, and I'm not doing any display sharing because that's a huge security threat. Like if I open a browser and it's in the same XY as the Machina window, so instead of doing that there, I can do it in the dials here, and I can just show you like maybe if I wanted to make this sound a little bit more ethereal and less like dominating the mix in the mid-range, because what I'm hearing is like there's a lot of meat in this sound. But if I did a high pass, and then it's really just about messing with velocities. Like that one right there between these two notes. Listen again. The way that attacks, it doesn't have to be like that. We can just bring the velocity of that note down. And then we get a smoother transition. This one also seems to be sticking out, so maybe I'll bring it down. You know? Some things are squeaky wheels, some things are big nails. That note's a big nail. That's right, Phil. Filtering. Yeah, sometimes if the note is giving you too much lip, those notes, you gotta filter them. Ah, do love wordplay. I still think of that, I don't know how I'd pull that off pun from like 2014, 2015. I still think of that at least twice or three times a year. Still one of my favorite ones of all time that I've ever heard or said. High notes should be a little quieter. Bring this down a little bit. Cool. So then, like, this is played in double time, so, like, you could really get funky with hi-hats and shit. But, like, this is where you gotta try to find some drums that are dope. Now, I've got a lot of instruments on here that are, like, based on doing some trap music. Like, there's some instrument packs that I've got somewhere in here that are like, hey, let's get kind of trappy with it. Let me see if I can find them. Oh, no, it's not an instrument I'm looking for. It's a kit. So we're gonna go to groups. There we go. So, like, crate cuts could work. Lockdown Grind, this is all like UK grime kind of influence shit. Trill Raise is a little bit more like West Coasty. Midnight Sunset is very much like 80s throwback shit. Actually, the samples that I used to create Blart, I think, came out of the Midnight Sunset set of sounds. Let's try something in Lockdown Grind. Let's try the Rifle Kit, maybe. I don't know. That's never going to work. A kick that coincides with a vocal? I'm not using that kick. Maybe, but I don't know. Feels like a pillow's getting put over its face. Let's try the Shank Kit. This has promise. It's got a clap, too. Squeaky. I don't like that. These are good hats. What the fuck that is, I don't know. Now there's a bass sample we could use, right? If I needed to. Like if I needed a second bass to stack on the first bass. So maybe I remember that I like this bass. The way I could do that is I can change the color of this sound. Oh, you see what my pad just did? In the little picture-in-picture there on YouTube? Maybe I keep that just for the bass. I'm still not sure I've found the drums that I like yet. Let's try Mad Kit. Nah. It's got that breath thing again. Now this is one that maybe I can salvage if I just filter the high end out entirely and just keep what's low. Let's go filter, low pass, feel like 400 maybe. It's still there. Still there. Much less there, and I think if I go to the sample itself now, we can probably catch the shit that we don't want. Which is like from there. You usually want to snip it right when it crosses the EQ midline. Love a good snare with a little reverb on it for a trap beat. Usually that's where you'd put a clap. Sure. Yeah, the cut and the thud was like all one sound together. Because these are all like samples that some other engineer has come up with. They make the real bucks, you know? They go to work all day and they do a billion things. I do use Ableton. Right now I'm using Machina, which is from Native Instruments, and I like it because the pads feel really good. Yeah, something like that. So I think here the key is that when you're doing the double time shit, the snare doesn't hit at the same rate, like when it's trappy. Like instead of being on the 2 and the 4, it's on like every 3. Something like this. So we sort of naively like copy that, paste it in where this other snare lives down here. Then we can just see how they sound stacked up. I like how metallic this is, but I feel like if I down tune it a little bit, if I bend it down pitch wise, maybe we dirty this up a little bit with like an internal saturator. Let's isolate this sound. maybe it lasts a little too long. It is a very long sample. You can hear that metal ring, which almost has its own note that's trying to conflict. I think if I go up a whole note, it'll stop feeling a little out of tune. I think 7's the sweet spot there. It still might not even be it. If I desaturate, it's the reverb. So there's reverb on it that was making it sound metally. Let's bring everything else back in. What I really want to do is like double this pattern and make it so the first 2 measures of the kick repeat 3 times to keep it super simple. So we go 3, 4 here, go away, paste the ones from the first 2, and then we hear how this sounds. Also, that snare doesn't need to repeat until the very end. So we do... Then we go back to 16ths to see about like some hi-hat work. I think I accidentally muted every other sound. I'm just gonna unmute them. I don't think I found the hi-hats that I wanted over here, though. I think the hi-hats I want might be the ones over on shank. Yeah, something like that. So, like, we just kind of think. Now, it's always really, like, you could always do one of these for hi-hats. This will like kind of always work naively, but then you gotta embellish and you gotta do stuff. I'm not great at trap yet, but like there's patterns that stick out. And then the other thing you can worry about is like you don't need to have this sit at the same time as the kick, so we can just do it like toot 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 toot, right? But maybe we do like one of these. Maybe we throw these in like this. And then like, I don't know, fuck with the velocity, like just give it some variety so that they don't all sound exactly the same. When you have a good DAW that like has these sounds played in, they're like very velocity aware sounds usually, so they have like different tonality when you hit them harder or softer. Yeah. Now it gets a little more complicated, right? You know, that's like, we're getting somewhere. I think that there's even like note repeat stuff that comes with this software that I haven't really delved into too much, but it allows you to like just kind of hold down a pad and then change like the rhythm of the repeat. And that's a really nice way to be able to like, I'm not panning those sounds at all yet. No. It is kind of a spooky beat, isn't it? Like on accident. It is, yeah. It's like a fashionable ghost. But yeah, these phrases, right, they need to last as long as the overall phrase. So you got to get like 8 bars of hi-hats in here, else it starts to sound really repetitive. Whatever. And then, like, I'm going to undo some of those hits, like, after the loop back. And then some of these, I'm going to find the ones that are really low velocity. And those are, like, ghost taps that I didn't mean to tap. It, like, registered twin taps. Because these pads are really sensitive and great. And then I can take this shit, and I can just quantize it to snap to the 16th. So each of these notes, like, has to pick. Yeah, something like that. Then all these high velocity ones, I can like click drag to get only the highest of velocities. And I can say, actually, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. I can get real fucking Christ-like on this shit. Just to make sure that everything is kind of in its same zone. And I notice, like, there's more, like, usually when we play notes together like this, the second notes come in a little quieter than the others, or sometimes the first note's a little quieter. But, like, it's more marked when the notes are really close together like that. And then maybe this, like, maybe that, like, sort of, like, swells like a wave, you know? So we start kind of quiet. And then we bring it up, maybe even a little louder, and then we, you know, start to bring it back down. And then, you know, it sounds kind of musical. I think right on the 3, we want to have 4 in a row here. Maybe even 5, why not? And then one thing that really helps these kind of things, like, play out better, you usually hit some like triplets like toward the end, right? You know, and then you just, you know, maybe we cut out the first one in the triplet, we don't quantize those, and then we just start drawing other notes in just to see where they live. Having little phrases that sit across these big number transitions tend to be pretty good. Like, it just feels right to the ear. Like, you kind of use the hi-hat to accentuate little parts of the beat differently. These can all come back down. There you go. I have to start dragging from within the velocity box. Yeah, okay. So maybe like... maybe something like, I don't know. Not really. Just try to come back on this a little bit. Cool. Fixed velocities. Vary velocities. That was kind of close. I think if I turn off the grid snap, I can make a triplet by hand there at the 6th. Maybe here we quantize. We'll get back in there. Hang on a sec. too quiet, so we'll bring that up. This was loud, so we'll bring it down. Snap that back in. Keep this here. Yeah. That triplet starts a little early, so we snap that back in place. Turn record off. What did they call the ghost trap in Ghostbusters? I'm just going to call this ghost trap. Nudge these back just a scooch. Just a scooch. Maybe this one too, but I don't know. Nah, that can stay. That's close enough. Yeah, that's good. We'll just hit these like 1-2s. Something in there. And the tricky thing with hi-hats is you really gotta like commit to doing this over and over. Like, it's not enough to just draw one set of hi-hats. You kind of have to like mix it up, and like you could take these and like you could move them over 3 beats, and like you could kind of cheat it that way. There's also too many hits here. I don't know what happened here. Let's listen again. What we could do is here we could actually do a 30-second actual trill, and then these notes can all live peaceful in harmony and shit. Because right now we have like, they're sitting on top of each other a little bit. So I'm going to just select all these notes and shorten them all by unsnapping the grid, so I can kind of see where they are. Then we'll re-snap the grid. Or no, actually first I'm gonna, look how long that note is. Hard to tell where one starts and the other one ends. That's, yeah, long note followed by like a little tiny ghost note sitting in there. Cool, and then we can just snap that to the grid kinda. And then maybe these will like slowly crescendo up. Real gradual, like, you know? And then actually we can even start quieter on all of them, so they get up to that point, and that means that these two are probably a little too loud, and that means that this one's probably a little loud. Let's see what we got. These are going to all need to get a lot quieter, but that felt kind of right. Except for that one. And we'll bring them all the way back. That makes sense. You could think of the trap as like a dust filter for really, really tiny particles of dust. Snap this back, bring it back to 16ths. also think we could fuck with this sound and make it sound really nasty if we wanted to. I wonder if like if we detune it. I kind of like the inhale exhale of that, but I think the first one was a little too loud. So I think if we do like 85 to 66, that also came in a little late by my hearing, right? Just a touch late, maybe? I don't know. Maybe we just quantize all this shit, because it's like, yeah, it was a touch late. Just leave that out. The last one doesn't need to be there. One thing I was thinking is, what if we reversed this? Yeah, I definitely look at the chat list when I get going on an idea. What I need is to have like a floating window. Actually, I think I can do this. I can bring the chat over here, kinda. And then if I move this window to the side, I can see it. It's a little bit more immediate. The YouTube chat. TikTok, y'all are lost. But yeah, it's not streaming on Twitch. We're on YouTube. Not on Twitch. Because I was just figuring out how to do it. There's like what's it called? Streamlabs software has like a $20 a month plan that lets you stream simultaneously to 2 different outlets. And I was thinking about doing a YouTube Twitch simulcast, but then Twitch changed their terms. You're not allowed to stream on Twitch, I don't think, at the same time as you're streaming on YouTube anymore. Like, I'm pretty sure I read that email, and I don't think the rule changed back. Now, one thing we could do is we could put the last note in, and we could like detune it. So we're always coming in at a 3.5 for these reversed breaths. And what we could do here is we could go into the key mode, see that all of these are playing at the same note, and we could just bring this down a few half steps. And that'll, like, at the end it'll liven it maybe a little bit. Yeah. Maybe we hit 2 down here, you know? A little louder, but lower. The duration of the note matters too. That's a little loud. Thank you. I'm really glad that the YouTube experience is a better experience than the TikTok stream. I am third person on YouTube. This is a public stream over there, so it's not like just for Patreon tonight, because it's Thursday. But when I hop on tomorrow and I start hooking up some of this podcast recording goodness, you better believe that's going to be Patreon only until I get my groove established. I think that these notes might be a little long. Let me try this like this. Maybe a little longer. I think it's a combination of the velocity sitting right above the line around 74 and the note being just over but not too far. That's what feels right to me personally, and I'm the only person touching these pads right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and rock with this. While I do this, I just wanted to say thanks to everybody who's been sticking around, hanging out. It makes it easier for me to do these things It is getting so damn late though, isn't it? Bummer. I just wish I never had to sleep, but I absolutely do. Yeah, I gotta go to bed too. I appreciate you, Lem Hippo. Thanks for rocking with me here this evening. I apologize that I didn't go live in time for the Scary Story stream, but that's okay. I didn't read all of the books, Scary Stories, so after I get the TikTok uploaded, yeah, maybe we could. I was also thinking about like messing, like that was another thought I had about this melody is like it's nice, but it gets really repetitive over time. So like you can duplicate, you can always like throw an octave up or down, and it changes the vibe a little bit. You can also duplicate the sound into like that almost sounds versy, right? So then that like breath box wouldn't live there. So we'd like take that out for this. Then we have a couple of little different looks. Oops. I just deleted the wrong thing, didn't I? I think I did. Yeah, that's the sound effects. Oh yeah, there's the snare. I was over in Shank. That's where the box was. So that's what I need to duplicate. Oh yeah, but then maybe we do lose the high snare here because it's like versy. Then this could be like our main first like chorusy idea. This is like the versy idea. So maybe we hit the first vox, but then none of the other vox. Except for maybe the very last two. Just clear out. Better release those hounds. A beast going wild in a peaceful town. And if the dogs can't seek him out, then he's about to keep eating until the beat slows down. And there could be no doubt when I speak, y'all shout and you scream out loud. Spree! The way I go all out, I'ma hold it down like I own this crowd. See, you wanna know by now when I kill him with syllables, I'ma blaze and burn till my lyric is finished. You better wait your turn or you finna be spinning out of my favorite learn. To see the way I roll everywhere I go, I'ma take my toe like troll. I dominate on the stage and then say do flow like he's H2O, but yo, that's what I walk on, black. Hot like a sun, I'm a god on the track, and I'm not gonna front like I'm washed in the blood, cause I've only come to rely on the facts. I guess I'm like a science class. I'm in the lab and I'm putting space-time on blast. Tachyon, rewind it back to see if Einstein rapped, he would rhyme like that, which makes me an MC squared. You never met a brother with the okay. That's a nice one. But yeah, like, we could definitely like play around with this some more. Duplicate. Actually, I think I could just copy and paste into a new group. Bring this over. No, nothing happening there, but then if we duplicate the scene, we create scene 1-1. Call this Convoxa. See if we can find that like female vox to try out over it, you know? It's a good idea to play with and try out. So like we can go in here and look for, ooh, maybe I'm just looking for a one shot. These are loops. These are one shots. Get out of here. Go vocal. And these are all breaths. And I'm looking for one that has like, not a lick, but just a note. Those are a little atonal. Here we go. When it says vocal and then just a note, that's a good sign. Do I thought I might have an instrument that's like just vocal now. I think I might. Hang on a second. I think they added it in. I'm on the complete monthly because I haven't yet had a month where it's felt like I can just go and drop a few $100 on the whole complete set that would give me like more vocal things to play with. So I go with what I can. Let's go back here. Vocal one shots. Oh, you know what though? I bet you Korg has something. I bet you if I go into not Chiang Mai, not Helsinki, Marseille, might have something that sounds vocalish. Absolutely could. No, that was not all off the dome. That was off the pad from like 2010, 2011. But thanks for asking, Ed. Yeah, I could. I could sample a vocal in. How do I do that on this thing again? I think it's in here. I think I have to go to the sampler. And then I think I have to go to like... Or is it... I think I have to maybe say audio. Is it audio? No, it's not. It is sampler. I have to like get a sample into the sampler. There's a way to do that, and I'm gonna remember how. Right now. No, now. No. Let me find... Oh, here it is. I click this. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, we'll try that. Ooh. Now. Ooh. Oh, but I didn't hit the threshold? Am I threshold recording? Check, check. Check. Yeah, it's something. I'm doing like a threshold record. So we're gonna... how am I doing this again? Voice settings. Velocity, no. Oh, here's why. Yeah, external source, we got that there. Recording mode sync. We need to change the mode to detect. Ooh. And we need to set the detector down to about here. We're going to have to turn this fan off. Ooh. Bring it down a little further so I'll hear myself. Yeah, that'll work. Ooh. That should be enough. And now I've got a sample, and I can rename it. And then we can save as, save with samples. Am I in the group or the save? Save as. Breathy UC2. Then I go back here, and then to select the sound, I go to User, One Shots, no, Sounds, maybe? Yep, Breathy UC2. Cool, and now we have to mess with the engine. The envelope needs to be changed from One Shot to ADSR, so that it'll actually just play as long as I have set these notes out. I can then change the polyphony to 1, or even legato, which just means like we could glide in between the notes. And if I'm doing that, I definitely want to hear the glide, so I'm going to like make sure that the notes go right up flush into each other. Yeah. Something like this. I kind of know how this shit works now. I'm getting better every time. I just hit the release the hounds on him, Francis. I hit that send him in, and when I spit like Fang, ever quit my game, rhyme split right brain, time tick, night, day, night, quick, I great white rip, bite, stain my lip, 5 shades, and I could even eat a raw MC, floss a beat out of my sharkish teeth, rock a beat it till you follow it, yeah, rock a beat it till you following me, and I hope y'all see that I obviously been dope since green was in army fatigues, and I rocked it, yeah. Okay, let's see what we got here if we just isolate this. I didn't record for long enough, actually. There's not enough duration on it. I think I have to go and like figure out how to make the sound loop. I think if I say loop on, I start the loop. Yeah, so I have this like loop bar where it can like draw out the sample. but I got to separate it enough from the actual start line that I can move it independently. Yeah. So then we have this. This should then, like, just keep it going. I was trying to get to the spot that I can, like, just instantly, without hearing that little cutoff sound. It's not perfect, but that's kind of the concept, right? You take a short sample, you can like put a loop in there. Ooh, I don't want to exit. It was like asking if I wanted to like exit the stream, but I'm like doing things now. Sorry, TikTok, that I seem to have like forgotten you, because I kind of did. I'll bring you over here. No hard feelings. So then I can like up octave this. Bring it up to 4, or even, I don't even have to do it there, I could just do it here. 12 notes in an octave, like half steps according to like our Western assumptions about music. We double click on this again. There's a way to double click on the, there it is, double right click. There's something to it. It's not exactly where it needs to be just yet. What if I saturated the shit out of it? Wet it up. We're going to use the Realm Reverb from Native Instruments for the... And I think I can fuck with the format if I use some Sound Toys. But I don't have the new version of Sound Toys with VS3s, so I gotta go to VSTs instead of VST3s. But then I think if I go to, which one is it? Altar Boy. Little Altar Boy. Pop that on here. Bring this up. We're gonna unlink pitch and format. We're going to have the mix maybe half and half. No, we'll keep the mix wet. It's easy to tell that way what you're doing. That note's not supposed to be there. I think I'm like, as I click, it's like adding notes. But there we go. Let's see how this goes. It's the glide, I think, in the vocal that I set. I think the glide is causing the format to hear two notes at once. And I can test that just by turning the glide off. Or was it 0.04? It's not the glide. So we'll bring it back to where it was. We'll just do a less of a format change and see if that changes it. wonder if I like got the tail ends. Take care. Have a good evening, Francis. So nice that y'all could join me this evening. It does feel like more of like a party. Like if I'm just confronting that like, oh, there's an empty file here. I have to fill it with sound. It was easier for me in the first couple of years of COVID when it felt like I was kind of living outside of time and responsibility because my job at the time was a larger software outfit and they were all like really wearing their hearts on their sleeve about everybody please take the time that you need. If you get sick, if you're feeling stressed, we're not going to hold ourselves to like pushing as fast as we normally do. Everybody take care of themselves. I was like, well, shit, I will take you up on that. I will write beats. There's something in there. There's something to it. Fuck with this saturation. Yeah, it just felt easier somehow to me. Let's give this some movement just by dialing the outside wheel. That's how easy automation is on this software. I love it so much. I'd love to do this some more, but it's almost midnight and I got as many chores tomorrow as I had today, and I got through my chores today only by a little bit of luck and a lot of coffee. So I'll probably end up stopping it here, and I might come back to this tomorrow when I do a podcast recording to like play around with like what happens if I'm already in the middle of a beat. There's drops, like there's definitely like an opportunity to turn this whole thing into like a droppy. What is this here? How long is this? 8. Yeah, it's 8, right? So like there's probably, if I go back to the notes, oh no, that's just the bass synth. I was thinking about the kit. This probably has a nice crash somewhere. Oops, I'm in the key mode. That's not what I'm looking for. 10. Not there. It's something. What's the crash sound like on this one? Do I have a crash? No crash. But yeah, anyways, if I wanted to mess with this some more, that symbol I can't even hear, right? So I'm going to copy this crash, I'll paste it into 9, and then I'll go in here on the individual sound thing. Oh, interesting. It's fully synthed. So I can't reverse it. I'd have to like, this sound would have to be internal, sampled audio. Oops. Yeah. That's the sampler. There's that note. This is my sampler, and then I can go into record, and I can go into source, internal, input, and I'm on D, this would be D10. And then instead of detect mode, we just do auto. I think. Did I get a sample there? No. Sample, 5 seconds. Note on, 2 seconds. Not auto then. We'll do detect. Detect all the sound. Hit start. Stop. Now we actually have a sample we can play with here. Oh no, did I sample on track 10? I did. I fucked that up. Let me undo. I was messing around too much. I gotta get out of recording mode there. Keep it in 9. Start on 9. Now I keep my crash here, and I have a copy of it here. And if we start right on it, to drive it. And this one's reversible. Yeah. So then, you know, you can go back and take your reversed sample that I've got starting and ending at the right time. I'm out of recording mode. And then it's an 8-bar phrase. So then we like just hit it somewhere around here and hear how it sounds. Because right now I think it is on 1 shot. Yep. So it'll just play when it plays. And we'll see if I time it up right. Maybe we down tune this so that it takes a little longer to hit. And however much we down tune it, we're going to down tune the crash too. Ooh, but this one's tougher because it's like on tune mode. So maybe at this point it's actually easier for me to like just override the synthesized sample with just 2 copies of this. And then this one goes forward instead of backward. And then the pattern is usually that like you hit on the crash at the beginning of the phrase, and then you go out with it reversed coming in, and then we don't need 10 totally copied, like right down to the note that was played. I think it's going to be like somewhere around 7-2. Naively, right? And then you just like tweak it a bunch, and then you have like some sort of a build that happens. If we wanted to, like, we could really bring it down the whole octave, at which point it's going to last almost twice as long as it did the last time. So we probably have to bring it back and let it like build a little more for a couple more beats, something like this. I don't know. It's nice if there's a tight, slight gap at the very end of how the sound plays. So that's not enough time. It has to have time to like really play all the way through. So we can just start here. Even further back. The other thing is that this one has the delay and the reverb on it, and maybe that's what's causing it to like feel too washy. It needs to like cut when it cuts. That's better. It does kind of still have a little fall off at the end, and I wonder if that's just down to the sample. Not the worst. I think I might just need to like start it a little sooner. That could maybe work. This needs to be more attacky too. Like when the cymbal actually does hit, it needs to like be in the middle of the attack. That's better. Maybe we keep the delay. I don't know. I still haven't decided. Yeah, that's, little ins and outs, builds and drops. What was your idea, Ed? I'm excited to hear it because I can at least preserve this for the live feed. If you're still here, then maybe I can pick this up next time. But let me know if you're still wanting to drop that idea in the chat. I'm probably gonna sign off now because it's after midnight. It's Friday, I got to make sure that I make the most of all of the hours, not just the ones when I'm doing this at the end of the previous day, or else I can't get as much out of the next day. But this has been super, super fun. Making a beat, reading some scary stories, playing guitar. Maybe I'll read one more. Nah. There's always something else I can do. Speaking of Twitch, though, I've got this copy of Bomb Rush Cyberfunk that I don't want to gather digital dust any longer. And I have to let myself, play video games more. And playing on Twitch is a good idea for me right now anyway, because I'm between jobs, and, if I stay between jobs for a month... Yeah, Big Orchestra... Yeah, for sure. Big Stabs makes a lot of sense. Also, it kind of thematically fits the, the scary theme, right? Big Stabs on that Michael Myers, on that, Jason Voorhees... Oh, I lost my browser. Where's my browser? I have to go back into view. View browser. But yeah, I know there's various stabs in here I can play with. Under one shots. Turn off user. I think that there's even one called stab or strike. And if not, I can just search the term. There's a million stabs in here. If we look for orchestra under O. Yeah, and then you could fuck with that. We could detune that like an octave. And then fuck with the attack. Honestly, that's lasting too long. So then we go amp envelope, change it to an attack hold delay. Just change the decay, not delay. A little too long, we'll go 1.5. Maybe 1.7 so it lasts a full 4 beats. I think I can just type it in. Maybe? No. But if I hold shift I can zero in. There we go. Maybe it needs to be 1.8 actually. Yeah, we can bell toll the shit out of this. Yeah, that could totally work, for sure. Womp, 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 womp. We could mess with different melodies and little notes, 2 or 3 note phrases, micro melody kind of shit. But for now, just hitting the... just right there on the 1. And we just do that every 4. Maybe we double the octave. Nah. Maybe we do sustain it a little longer. Maybe we bring it out to 3 seconds. Good call. Good call. I think it's even better at 8s instead of 4s. Maybe we even throw a little bit of delay on it. I was gonna mishby this shit too. Oops. Let's keep it here. So this pattern gets to sing. Oops, that wasn't in Konboksa 1, it was Konboksa 2. Stabbed up. Maybe. Let me see what's happening here with this vocal. I was going to throw one more thing on here. It's going to fuck my timing up, though. It's really cool how it does this shit with, like, the desync, but I really just wanted to, like, get a little bit of this nastiness on there. Yeah, I like the motion on the hats. I'm still not great at drawing the hats in. Like, I see how people use Fruity Loops and stuff to do it super fast, and I get a little jealous, like, oh damn, your workflow is definitely stronger than mine. But, like, it feels good to fuck with. The thing that I don't understand is how I can deal with, like, Mishby, when I put it on here, it throws this one sound out of sync. And that's what I need to figure out, is like how to get everything delayed at the same rate. Maybe if I just search Mishby timing. Mishby stands for maybe I shouldn't have built you. It's really beautiful. It does a million things. It's like a tape sim, kind of. But it also does that, like, desync delta stuff. It can crush the shit out of a sound and make it sound really nasty. Maybe. Yeah, I don't really know. I know that, like, the way that Mishby processes things, there's, like, makeup latency that it adds because it takes a certain amount of time to hear the sound in order to process the sound. And if I go into, like, maybe it's in the audio settings, no, status, sample rate, latency, config, total of 24.9 milliseconds of latency, but then the plugin adds more latency. And if I'm in my settings right now, that's why you can't see anything changing on the screen. The plugins work great, but they do add that latency, and I've never really been able to, you know, one thing I could do though is I think there's like a way to do freezing, flattening in Machine with Mishby. But yeah, that's something I really got to figure out, because it, like, let's see. The cool thing about a Freak Show Industries plugin is it adds so much character and verve to a sound, and also they are willing to let you steal their shit. They actually have like a steal tab on their website, And the caveat is, if you have a stolen thing that you downloaded from them for free, their idea is they don't want you to get a virus on your computer just because you covet stuff that you can't afford. So like they're like, you might as well get it. It's like a parent saying, just drink in my basement. If you must binge drink, do it where you don't have to drive home. But they're not going to like actively support you. So like you can't get any updates from the thing that you stole. But you can also go back into your account and it'll show you like, here's the stuff that you've bought. Here's the stuff that you stole. And you can always like pay later on when you can afford it. And they'll be like, okay, cool, we'll give you an actual license now. Freak Show Industries has a dope business model. But also like, if I add fixed latency machine, how to solve issues with latency as a plugin. But I don't know. MIDI signal, that's not it. Fixed latency and it needs to have Mishby in the search. Bing doesn't really work. Google doesn't really work. Mishby fixed latency diagnostic search. Okay, here we go. This person has an issue that I'm having in Ableton. I'm using some plugins with extreme high latency. I'm aware I can't record onto tracks where those are active. But even when recording onto other tracks without plugins, I get insanely high latency. Yeah, I'm going to have to freeze and flatten. So I guess what I could do here is I could set up another sound in this group. We could set it to sample. We could isolate this. So that's fine. And that's coming from group B1. So B1 there is what we wanted. And this pattern here. And then we go to group G1. We go to the thing that, or not, no, group F1, sound 2. We're going to record from an internal source. The input, I could use master because I've isolated it, but I just wanted to be double sure, so I'll say B1 sound 1. And we're detecting at the lowest possible volume. So then we'll restart. Oops, forgot to hit start. Cool. So I could use this instead of this, right? We could turn this off under stabbed up entirely. And then under F1, we could set a pattern that uses this sound. And then we go out of the recording part of the sampler, and we just click on this, and we do it as an ADSR that lasts for the full 8. We zoom out, run it to the end like that. Oh yeah, it's not making a sound because I'm still isolating on B1. And it's late, right? Because I don't start the sample on time. Like it just had this like lead-in time before it recorded. So I could go here, and now I think it'll work. Yeah. Cool. That was just a fun exercise in using my environment so I can go to bed feeling like competent. It's really fun. Oh yeah, so they're called Freak Show Industries. You can get Mishby, which is that wonderful, it's just such a good tape. Just, if all you used is the tape simulator on Mishby, you'd still get so much out of the tool. Because like, if I just isolate this sample, Yeah. If we just hit play on this. Turn everything else down. No distortion, no noise. Everything dialed up here. Nothing happened. This is fun though, watch this. That works dope. This nice thing is really, watch this. It's like a randomized retriggerer. So we can mess with the probability. That sort of like lets it like sing. You can give it different amounts of grit there. With just the tape simulation. Just this. Just that one dial is such a good character adder. Absolutely nuts. And I think you can see the dials that are moving as I like. Yeah. So I'm using a visual UI, which is also super cool looking. And the visual UI has like various knobs and stuff, but Machine just shows the knobs that I'm dialing. That's with distortion turned up. That makes it like lo-fi shit, right? Ugh, it's nasty. I just love it so much. Big fan of it. And then we can bring this all back in. Oops. There we go. We can mute B1 because it's not going to do anything for, well, we can leave it on because the patterns are turned off. No, we're going to mute it so that across all of the samples, all of the scenes, it'll be muted and I won't mess myself up. But this turned out good. That's good night work for a beat. Alright, I've been drinking this coffee. If I'm being real with you, the coffee is telling me it's time to get up and move to a different room that's also got some reverb in it. If you see what I'm saying. Maybe test the reverb in the room, so to speak. And then spray some Febreze. Get my ass to bed. I'm going to end this broadcast. I'm going to end this TikTok live. It's been super fun, TikTok. It's been super fun, YouTube, Patreon. It's patreon.com/thirdperson. It's YouTube, third person. My music is at thirdperson.bandcamp.com. 3 I's in third. And I'll catch you at the next one.